This is a question my wife gets a lot in the real estate business. Should I hire a real estate agent or just do it by myself? Well, today we're breaking down the top 5 reasons to use an agent and the top 5 reasons to go it alone. By the end, you'll know which side you're on, and you'll also know how to best proceed. Agents live and breathe the housing market. They know what's selling, what's sitting, and why. This means better pricing strategy, whether you're buying or selling. This is a very important starting point when you're looking at buying or selling a house. You should start with comparable properties in similar neighborhoods and school districts and see what houses are not only listing for, but actually selling for. That last part is hard. Also important is to understand how long houses are sitting on the market when they are priced at, above, or below these market prices. There isn't a strict formula or app to determine this. It's as much art as it is science, and the professionals who work in the field every day ought to add value during this process. Not only will your expectations be in line with reality from the start, making the process much less stressful or frustrating, but good market knowledge will save or earn you money during the process, which offsets the expense of real estate commissions. An experienced agent is basically your professional poker player. They know when to push, when to hold back, and how to get you the best deal without letting emotion get in the way. They also serve as a buffer between you and the other party, whether that's a buyer or a seller. They absorb the social awkwardness in negotiations. Have you ever gone into a grocery store and haggled with the manager for a discount on their pineapples? Would you be embarrassed to do that? Your real estate agent shouldn't be. And if she's not, you're going to have an advantage. That pineapple thing is real, by the way. That's why I let my wife handle all of my negotiations, not just the ones in real estate. Buying or selling a house means mountains of contracts, disclosures, and deadlines. One missed detail can cost you big. Agents make sure you're covered. And real estate agents with national brokerages almost always carry insurance policies in the event of a dispute following a transaction. This part is important. If you buy a bad jangle from Walmart for $5, you'll curse the store and throw the jangle in the trash. You won't sue. But if something goes wrong in a contract or disclosure following a sale in the hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, there's a high likelihood that someone will sue. If you go it alone, you'll be on your own. If you have a good agent, not only will that greatly reduce the odds of a mistake or a misunderstanding resulting in litigation, but it will also provide you some protection in the event something goes wrong. Insurance companies are favorable targets in litigation, not individuals. Agents have connections, lenders, inspectors, contractors, stagers, photographers. It's like having a VIP list to the home buying and selling process. A good agent favors your interests above any referral fees. And by good, I don't mean holy. Real estate agents get around 50% of their commissions from clients who have been referred by previous clients. It is in their interest to get the right inspectors, contractors, stagers, and lenders for your circumstance. If you're happy, on average, they'll end up with more clients. In the end, this means that you get reliable services at the right price, and those providers will be highly motivated to reconcile any discrepancies, as they will not want to upset the dozens of referrals that your real estate agent is providing to them. Showings, open houses, phone calls, follow-ups, it's a second job. An agent does all of that so you don't have to. A good agent is talented at it. They don't express anger or frustration, but they preserve the potential for a deal. If you love sales, this may not do much for you, but if you don't, it's worth a few bucks to get someone else to navigate the interpersonal landmines of our diverse society. The last thing you want is to lose a deal because you or the other party don't much like each other. Let's be honest, avoiding that 5 to 6% commission is the number one reason people try for sale by owner. On a big sale price, that's a chunk of change. On most sales, it's in excess of $10,000. It is important to note here that there is nothing that prevents a party from negotiating the commission that their agent will receive, but there's no free lunch either. A great, experienced agent at 6% is far preferable to a lousy one at 2%. And if you're a buyer, traditionally, the commission is set and paid for by the seller. Now, there's recently been some movement of sellers not wanting to pay the commission for the buyer's agent, but here in 2025, with the real estate market rapidly becoming a buyer's market, don't expect it to last. Those houses will, on average, sit on the market much longer and will inevitably sell for a lower price, seriously eating into the theoretical savings that the sellers are attempting to achieve. That said, there's no question, if you do it right, that the costs of either selling or buying the house will be less without an agent. But the way that those costs will be spread across the buyer and the seller will be variable. If one party is better at it, they may not only absorb the majority of the savings, they may also tilt the negotiations in their favor at the cost of the other party. In other words, if you're going to play poker, you better be more talented than the person across from you. And sometimes that person is a professional. But if you can beat them, there may be some money in it. When you're the one setting the price, scheduling the showings, and negotiating, you have total control over every decision. There's no reason to bring a real estate agent in if you don't want to delegate any decisions to them. You'll just end up cutting them a check for executing all of your desires. This is really the same reason why a person would choose to defend themselves in a court of law. Agents are, in essence, lawyers educated in a very limited scope of the law, that being real estate. When you hire an agent, you're hiring a person who has been educated and passed state-level tests that cover the real estate material from the bar exam. If you have a limited scope need for selling and buying real estate, agents are effective as relatively cheap representation. That said, if controlling your own fortune is important to you, real estate law is a smaller topic. And if you're willing to put some effort into it, you can familiarize yourself with it. But obviously, you can't replace experience. And agents who work for large brokerages have the experiences of hundreds of sales a year at their disposal. I'm not trying to knock down the idea of controlling your own fortune here. In many cases, that experience won't be required, but when it is, obviously, it's a large purchase. But if you don't need it, it's also a lot of money. Some people have bought and sold before and feel confident handling the process themselves, especially if they have friends in the industry for advice. This is probably the best reason to go it alone. You have someone who's willing to give you free advice, who is knowledgeable and trustworthy. But also realize you're putting the other person in a bit of a spot. It's easy to get sued over something as simple as advice. And if they don't have a contract with you, they're most likely not insured. That said, if you have someone who you share mutual trust with, you can get many of the positives of a real estate agent at a real bargain. You can also get some freebies. Agents are often willing to give you comps in your neighborhood or market outlook documents for free. They do this to establish a relationship because many people who start out intending to go it alone end up eventually hiring an agent when they realize how difficult and important real estate transactions are. If you're experienced and want to try to go it alone, you should reach out to an expert and get these freebie products. If you're selling in a red-hot neighborhood or to someone you already know, like a family member, you might not need all the marketing muscle of an agent. Again, a perfectly good reason, similar to the last one. Believe it or not, some people love the challenge of selling their own home or hunting down deals solo. For them, it's almost a hobby. There's nothing wrong with this. If you enjoy researching the rules, scanning on a daily basis through Zillow, and keeping track of industry news, you can obtain amateur status. And in most cases, that'll work just fine. In the long haul, you may even make a few bucks at it. But a few bad deals could cost you dearly. Again, it really has to do with what sort of real estate agents you get. If they're great, it'll save you a lot of heartache, and they'll offset the commission through better approaches and negotiating better deals. If they're an empty pantsuit, you'll just be giving your money away. And again, I say this from experience. Before I married a great real estate agent, I had an agent that did absolutely nothing for me other than pass along my offers and cash my rather large check. It's very frustrating after the fact to feel like someone just took you for 20 grand. So which camp are you in? Team agent or team DIY? Either way, feel free to scan the QR code, click the banner above or the link below in the description, and you can shoot a message to the best agent I know, who I call Babe, who will get you started with a market analysis of the area that you're interested in. Doesn't cost you anything, no pressure. She's associated with a highly respected international brokerage, so if you need an agent and want a good one and don't know where to start, let her know and she'll get you a vetted referral. Again, no cost to you. Feel free to drop any questions in the comments here as well if you feel more comfortable with that, and she'll answer them. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more real estate tips. Until next time, Godspeed and take care.